All right, so have you ever wondered how AI is actually changing warfare? Forget those killer robots from the movies. It's way more complicated, and honestly, it's already happening.
Yeah, it's a little unnerving when you really start to think about it.
Right. So we did a deep dive into this really fascinating YouTube video by Johnny Harris, and he was talking with Shashank Joshi, who's the defense editor over at The Economist, and wow, they had some incredible insights.
Yeah, this isn't just about, like, robots on the battlefield. AI is already having a pretty big impact at every stage of what's called the kill chain.
The kill chain.
Yeah, finding the enemy, figuring out their location, actually picking the targets, attacking, and then even assessing whether you hit the target or not. AI is. AI is kind of turning things upside down in all of those steps.
And that's what's so crazy about this. Like, it's not some far off future thing. It's happening right now.
Right.
One thing I thought was super interesting was they were talking about computer vision. Like, how's that already changing how wars are fought?
Yeah, so with computer vision, AI can basically go through tons and tons of visual data, things like satellite images and drone footage.
Okay, so it's like AI is looking at all those pictures and videos.
Yeah, but it's not just seeing, it's actually understanding what it's seeing. Like, it can pick out a specific tank from a bunch of other vehicles. It can tell the difference between military and civilian vehicles, and it can do all this way faster and more accurately than a person could.
It's wild to think about. It's like having a superhuman eye watching over the whole battlefield.
Yeah, exactly.
So, wait, hold on. Are you telling me that the same technology that's like suggesting friends to tag on social media, that can be used to like find enemy targets?
It is.
I mean, that's incredible, but it's also a little scary, right?
Absolutely. It definitely brings up some serious questions about how we're going to use and control this technology. But let's talk about data fusion. That's where things get really interesting.
Data fusion? What is that? Sounds like a spy movie or something.
Well, think of AI as this master strategist, right?
Yeah.
It can pull data from not just images and video, but from sensors, signals, even things like mobile phone usage or how shopping patterns change around military bases.
Wait, hold on. Shopping patterns. What do like groceries have to do with warfare?
More than you might think. If there's a sudden increase in people buying certain things, or if people's buying habits change, that can actually be an early sign that troops are moving or that someone's getting ready for some kind of operation. These are subtle clues that human analysts might miss, but AI can connect those dots.
Whoa, so AI is like piecing together this crazy detailed puzzle in real time, giving commanders this picture of the battlefield that they've never had before.
Exactly, and it can analyze huge amounts of data, like in minutes, something that might take human analysts days or weeks even. And that speed advantage can make all the difference.
It's like having a supercomputer telling you exactly what to do.
Yeah, or like whispering strategies in your ear during a battle. It helps you outsmart and outmaneuver the enemy.
Okay, so AI is basically like this invisible superpower, giving whoever uses it this huge edge. But like, what about people? Are we just going to let algorithms make all the decisions in war?
That's the big question, and it's especially important when we're talking about these autonomous drones. They're really becoming a game changer in modern warfare.
Yeah, the video showed drones that could fly themselves and even like attack targets without a human controlling them at all. That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? But it's real. Imagine a drone that can fly into an area where the enemy is trying to block its signal and still complete its mission. The video even showed one locking onto a target, like just in the last few moments of its flight, all without a person controlling it. It's a huge shift towards pilotless warfare, and it raises a whole bunch of questions, like who's in control, who's accountable if something goes wrong, and what does this even mean for the future of war? It's crazy to think about how much this is going to change things. It's like when gunpowder was invented or nuclear weapons. Those completely changed how wars were fought.
Right. Those were huge turning points.
And it seems like AI is going to have that same kind of impact, maybe even bigger.
Yeah. Like, we're entering this whole new era of war, the algorithmic age of combat. It's like wars are going to be fought with code as much as they are with bullets and bombs.
And one of the biggest problems is that this technology is evolving so fast, like way faster than we can even understand the consequences.
It's moving too fast to set up any rules or even really think about what could go wrong.
Exactly. And that's scary, right? Like, we're building these powerful tools, but we're not really stopping to think about the dangers.
It's like, yeah, we might be getting in over our heads a little bit.
And there's this real risk that, in this rush to get a military advantage, We might end up creating AI systems that are just too complicated, too
Mhm.
difficult to understand.
Yeah.
And then what happens if they make mistakes or do things we didn't intend?
Well, that's terrifying to think about.
It is.
And the video talked about this idea of over-reliance on AI. Like, maybe we're getting to the point where we just trust whatever the machine tells us, even if we don't really get how it gate to that conclusion.
Yeah, it's human nature, right? We tend to trust technology, especially if it seems like it's, coming from a place of authority or if it seems really objective. But we need to be careful about that.
Mhm.
We need to have a healthy skepticism when it comes to information that comes from AI.
Like, we need to understand enough about how AI works so that we can spot biases or errors or even, times when someone might be deliberately trying to manipulate the information.
Exactly. We need to be able to think critically about this stuff. It's not enough to just know how to use the technology. We need to know its limitations and what could go wrong and really the implications of using it.
I keep thinking about that part in the video where they showed the drone locking onto a target in the last few seconds of its flight. It's like amazing technology, but it also makes you think about like who's really making the decisions in war.
Yeah. The question of autonomy is a really complicated one. Like, how much autonomy is too much? When does a machine stop being a tool and start being a decision maker? Especially when it's a decision about taking a human life.
Those are some big questions.
They are. And AI is making us think about those questions in a whole new way.
It's not just about the technology itself either. It's about the people using it. The video mentioned that some soldiers were treating those AI target lists as if they were like the absolute truth. They weren't even questioning them.
That's exactly what I mean about over-reliance. It's easy to think, well, if a machine came up with this, it must be right. But that's just not true. AI systems, they can be just as biased and prone to errors as people.
So we're kind of in a tough spot, right? Like AI could make warfare more efficient and precise and maybe even save lives, but it also brings all these new risks and challenges that we just aren't prepared for.
And that's why we need to be having these conversations now. Before it's too late, we need to figure out how to develop AI systems that are transparent,
Hmm.
accountable, and systems that are aligned with our values. We need to teach soldiers and commanders to use these systems in a responsible and ethical way. And we need to bring the public into this conversation because the implications of AI for warfare, well, those reach far beyond the battlefield.
It's a big task, but yeah, we definitely can't ignore it. What happens next with AI and warfare, it could impact the future of, well, maybe even humanity.
Absolutely. We can't just pretend this isn't happening. AI is here,
Yeah.
and it's already changing the world. The question is, are we going to shape how it develops, or is it going to shape us?
Wow, that's a lot to think about.
It is.
That's what we're here for, right? To look into these big issues, try to understand them a little better, and yeah, maybe start some conversations that are a little uncomfortable, but that we need to have.
Exactly. What we've talked about today, it shows just how important it is for us to be part of this, to learn about it, and to make sure our leaders are being careful and responsible with AI, especially when it comes to warfare.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the big picture, but what about us? What can we, like, as individuals do? It feels so overwhelming, like these decisions are being made somewhere we have no control over.
I get it. It's easy to feel kind of powerless when we're talking about these huge technological changes, but, we're not totally helpless. Like, in a democracy, we can demand transparency from the government. We can push for ethical guidelines and support those groups that are really trying to deal with these issues.
So, like, we could contact our representatives, tell them we want responsible AI development, maybe even support research into how to make AI safer.
Exactly. We can educate ourselves, spread the word. The more people understand what's at stake with AI and warfare, the more likely it is that we'll make good choices and hold the people in power accountable.
So it's about having those conversations, making sure people are aware of what's going on. This can't just be something that people in the military and tech are talking about. Everyone needs to be in on this.
Yeah, those conversations can really make a difference. Public opinion shapes what our leaders do. If enough people start demanding ethical AI development, then those in power have to listen.
Right, right. It's like, well, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but there's that saying that evil wins when good people don't do anything. We can't just sit back and like passively accept whatever happens with AI and warfare. We need to be active. We need to shape this future.
Absolutely. And one of the most important things we can do is to reject this idea that AI-driven warfare is inevitable. It's easy to fall into that trap of thinking, well, technology is going to do what it's going to do. There's nothing I can do about it. But it's giving up before we even start.
Like we're giving up our ability to choose, to build the kind of world we want.
Right. AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. What happens next isn't set in stone. It really is up to us. We have to demand that AI is used ethically, responsibly, and in a way that makes the world safer and, well, not more violent.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the main thing to remember is that AI is changing how wars are fought. But that doesn't mean the future is already written. It's on us to shape what happens next. And that starts with understanding the issues, talking about them, and making sure our leaders put human values first, especially when it comes to AI and warfare.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Keep sending us your questions and, well, we'll keep digging into these interesting and thought-provoking topics. Until next time.